We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thính, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, tịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đắc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô San Nan Tho Chu Che Do Ye A La Hơ Di San Miao San Pu To Xie. Nam mô Tát Đắc Tha To Ya Da Ya A La Ha De Tam Miao Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian wan jie dan zao yu, wo jin jian wen de shou chi, yuan jie ru lai zhe shi yi. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, and all monks and nuns and all good advisors of Emitofuo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, thân kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Hòa thượng Kinh Hoa, quý thầy cô và quý vị tịnh sư tất cả Di Đà Phật. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, Ching Liang Đại sư, sư phụ sang人,各位出家人，各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Hello everyone, today is the 5th of June 2022. We are gathered here to continue discussing the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. It talks about the rulers of the world, how the universe is ruled as the Buddha sees it. Comment from JMT, go ahead.
Happy birthday to you. 하는 마스터 생일 축하합니다.
Yeah. Whose birthday is it? You know, you realize it's wrong day. But thank you so much. I assume that you chanting happy birthday to all of us. Okay, so sweet of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Now we are on slide 183. We are talking about the fire ruling spirit. This fire ruling spirit, darkness destroying brilliance.
光明破暗烛火神。
All right. So this fire spirit here, he has his light here. He emits his light here that can destroy the darkness to help living beings. So what he's referring to is that the living being's mind, when they're up to no good, when they're covered by the three poisons, it's called their minds are dark, and therefore they cannot help themselves at times. Sometimes the three poisons are so strong that we cannot help ourselves. So this fire ruling spirit here, at times, will use his brilliance for those whom he has affinities with. They will destroy their darkness, their three poisons in living beings' minds, if you will. You know, this is a reminder, sometimes we can't help ourselves. And sometimes these living beings realize that, and therefore they make an effort to come and help us out. It turns out that this is a reminder, a very important reminder in terms of the direction we're going, why we're doing this. You're going to all become Buddhas in the future. Okay? Why? Because you're very special. You know that already. Huh? Especially the one who just sang happy birthday on the wrong day. Okay? Regardless your mistake, you're still very special in my heart. Okay, now the marketing is over. Let's talk business. So you have to understand that the Buddhist practitioners, we open our wisdom, we develop our skills in order to do something important, in order to help others. And the more skilled you are, the more work you do, the more help you provide to the world. So these beings, they have a lot of wisdom, they have a lot of skills, and therefore they had to become rulers of the world. You have no choice. You cannot hide. You cannot say that, I'm not ready yet. I still have work to do. I'm no Buddha yet. And my level is still not that high yet. My skill is not quite complete yet, and so forth. So these beings are reminding us that this is part of our practice as well, as in contrast to Master YongHua's track. Okay, he laid a track where you can hide and you can work on your own. Okay, whereas in our track, it's quite different. We are taking on the tracks of these world rulers, where we actually go out there, engage in society, and that's another way to learn, another way to practice your samadhi and unfold your wisdom. And I feel it's a lot quicker. Okay, it's a lot quicker because that's my job, to help you, to guide you so that you open your wisdom a lot quicker. Whereas the track Master YongHua laid is more like Hinayana-like, where you grind it out, keep on grinding it out, okay, by yourself or isolate yourself, you grind it out, and over time you will open your wisdom. Okay, and when your wisdom is strong enough, then Master YongHua puts it, when the light is strong enough, then you can go out and expose the light to the wind. The wind cannot blow the light out. That's when you are allowed to go out. Okay, that is only the case where because your light is not strong enough, and therefore when you go out by on your own, the wind will blow it out. Okay, will blow out your light. Similarly, and that is a difference, another different aspect about Hinayana versus Mahayana. Hinayana, okay, we know when our Hinayana people, our people are at the level of Hinayana, you push them out there to the world, their lights will be blown out. Okay, just a fact of life. It's too strong. The viciousness, the impurities, the defilement, the pressure, and all those things, the bad habits you've been accruing for many lifetimes. Okay, it's just overwhelming for you, and therefore, at the Hinayana level, whether it's Arhat, whether it's practical Buddhahood, okay, you will not be able to handle it. Okay, that's why it's safer for you to stay behind the four walls and limit the interactions with the difficult world, if you will. It can be very overwhelming. Okay, so that's a trap for the Hinayana type of practice. Our practice is quite different. Our practice is that I know you're going to be blown out. I know you're going to suffer so much. Okay, yeah. And therefore, it takes watching over you, all of you, lay people and left-home people as well, when you engage and do the Dharma propagation, watching over you, make sure that you don't break. That's all. Okay? If you don't break, you make it. You break, oops. Sorry, I didn't know. So that's part of the fun, part of the learning experience from both sides. Okay, and it's only because the difference is that I'm still alive, I'm still active. Okay, my mind is still working a little bit. Okay? Occasionally. So that's why I'm able to decipher what the problem is and how to solve your problems. Whereas the other side, Master Hsuan is gone. I was there for 4 years. I really hated it because I had so many problems. No one would help me. No one could help me. Okay? So that's why the only way that if I had stayed there, and I had the chance to stay there for another 20 years, okay, yeah. I got to the point where I knew I could stay there for 20 years and just meditated. Okay, and lucky I did. Okay. And because lucky I couldn't ignore the problems I had. I discovered. So I would weigh too heavily in my conscience to ignore it. So anyway, I'm lucky that I have some Mahayana roots. That's why I decided to break it. Okay, yeah. And it's because this is where you need to understand, okay, the limitations. That is, when you don't have someone watching over you and guiding you, you have to grind it out. Okay, that's the only way. And if you have, like our environment, we have a lot of people better than you, okay? Like in the Pure Land, I like to tell you, this is like a mini Pure Land. We have so many people, so much better than you. So actually being with them in the great assembly Dharma versus the isolation Dharma, the grinding Dharma, is much, much faster for you, much more beneficial for you, much more interesting to me, okay, for everyone involved. So far, so good. And it's very, very, very clear that we're doing this in order to contribute. Okay, we cannot wait. We see people suffering so much that how can we possibly ignore everything and say, I don't have any wisdom yet. I can't help much, so therefore, if I help, I'm going to get in trouble anyway. So it will defeat the purpose of my cultivation. And therefore, it is reasonable to think like that, okay? However, as long as I'm still around, you're willing to take chances. The ones who are real special would take chances. How's that? Okay? No need to hide. Okay? All right. So, and we do it by following in the footsteps of these world rulers. We contribute. We do our best. Wherever we go, whatever we do our best. Okay, to contribute, to make a difference. Okay, And I'm reminding you, the heck with the reward, the heck with money. Money is such a small thing. If you contribute, you make a difference, your blessings will be incredible. Money is not a problem down the road. Okay? So think bigger, think much longer term. Okay? It's about blessings. Okay? And you're so worried, preoccupied with money right now, you are Hinayana. Too small. Okay? All right. Next, 185. And fire ruling spirit, thunder sound, and lightning flash.
雷音电光烛火神，
雷音电光烛火神. Okay, so this fire ruling spirit here, practices certain Dharma door. Just like you who out there, some of you are doing engineering work, some of you are management, some of you are, whatever, marketing, sales, and so forth, engineering, so forth, operations, so forth. This fire ruling spirit here, his specialty is he emits a sound. His voice sounds like thunder, and furthermore, he emits light like lightning. Okay. 187. These and others acted as leaders of an inestimable number of fire ruling spirits.
如是等而为上首，不可称数。
Cheng here cannot be set, not estimable. Right? Cheng here is to say, to spell out, okay, but not estimate. Okay, again, the English translation, sometimes they take liberties that destroy the original meaning of the Chinese. Okay, Cheng here is you can't even say it. You can't even think of a number. That's what it means. It's not estimable. It's nothing to estimate. Is that clear? But it's okay. It's okay. As long your mind is broader, that's all I care about. So there are among innumerable, number of leaders. So the world leaders out there in the universe are countless. Okay, your mind need to be broader. You cannot think, me. Orange County, Long Beach, Rosemead, Los Angeles. Okay, no, that's too small. It's nothing at all. You're part of, this big picture, this humongous army, this network of do-gooders. There's watching over you. There's training, who care for you, who want to, if you have the aspiration, who are willing and able to help you. Okay? Don't be Hinayana. Theravada, whatever. Is it better to say Theravada, which is clearer to more and more people? 189, and they all reveal various kinds of brilliance, dispelling the burning afflictions of sentient beings.
皆能示现种种光明，令诸众生热恼除灭。
All right. So what do these fire ruling spirits do? Okay, they manifest. Okay, Xian here is not to reveal. Reveal is like, I'm not willing to reveal my poker cards. You know what I mean? I'm not willing to reveal to you. Okay, manifest here is an expedient. Reveal is playing poker, if you will. Xian here, okay. Shu xian here. Shu is to show you. Xian is certain manifestations, certain appearances. So therefore, it's called expedience. It's not revealed at all. Okay. Again, these poor people, they don't understand how the world rulers think and behave. How could you possibly understand the upper class? Okay, so But it's okay, I'm here, so I'm telling you. Okay, so that's very important, by the way, for you to learn Chinese. Chinese is so precise, it's so beautiful. I'm telling you, the translation doesn't do justice to the original Chinese text, unfortunately. Okay, and that's why I'm adamant about this. If you want to go up to a high level of the Mahayana, you have to learn Chinese because it's not available, that wisdom is not available in English. Even if I had to spend the rest of my life trying to translate to English, first of all, I don't have the English skills, okay? And number two, I don't have the Chinese skills, okay? And therefore, it's not a very good use of my time, okay? But in the future, you want to really, those of you, that's why I plan, 10 years, 20 years, I will support those of you who wish to, just devote your life to the studies and meditation and unfold your scholarly and your breadth of knowledge of Mahayana. I would love it. I really would love it. Okay? Now we work. Okay? Now we need to save people. We need to help people. They're suffering so much. We cannot ignore it. Okay? And there come a point in time where we decide, we've done enough. We have enough, tentacles out there to make a difference in our societies and our communities. Now it's time to think bigger, think longer term. Okay? Right now, it's just too much suffering that we need to try to help. All right? So in time, you need to learn Chinese. So these fire ruling spirits, they rule the fire, and their practice is to use as an expedient. Okay, at their level, it's all expedience, by the way. Okay, it's not the way you think. It's not the way it seems to be. At their level, it's no way for us to understand what is really going on. Okay, because they are so skilled at using expedience that we really don't know what they're up to. Okay, so that's why that's when I look at Master Hsuen, I say, I don't care what you say, I don't believe it, because you have so many facades. I'm not sure if the facade, the word you're using, are for me or for someone else. Okay, so anyway, so they can, make appear, manifest all sorts of brilliance. Okay, so they manifest all kinds of brightness, all kinds of light. Okay, LED lights, fireworks lights, incandescent lights. All kinds of lights, if you will. Huh? All right? All kinds of brilliance. But these are brilliant things, brilliant lights, very powerful lights that will illuminate very clearly everything. Okay? Eliminate the darkness. Why darkness? Why light? Why darkness? Well, light is opposite of darkness. When there's light, there's no darkness. When there's darkness, there's lack of lights. All right? So why? Why they have to illuminate the darkness? Because darkness is where your poisons are hidden, are gathered, and accumulate. They need darkness in order for them to build momentum, in order for them to multiply. Darkness is their medium. They cannot multiply unless it's darkness. Okay? And therefore, these beings, shine the lights wherever they want to help, whoever they want to help. They shine their brilliance light in that area, in those areas, for those living beings. That's when those living beings can see clearly. Okay? And another way to talk about darkness is afflictions. Afflictions makes your minds dark, makes you confused. If you are angry, then you are confused. If you are greedy, then you are stupid. Okay? And so that's why you have to guard against these afflictions. The afflictions are what? The afflictions turn your mind's dark. Yeah, it's like funny. Say that and you always say, continue. Okay? Afflictions. Okay, so there's a saying, Chinese saying that the Wu Ming Ho Lao Hu Shen. Okay? So it says the fire of ignorance, okay, is like a tiger spirit. Okay? So, okay. You know what it means? Okay. Here, yes, 9. Did you want to say something, or are you just holding the microphone
I was
for
gonna
comfort?
I wanted to say something, Master.
Okay, say.
Is it that most of us are surrounded by darkness because of our afflictions?
It's not surrounded by darkness. When you're afflicted, okay, you emit darkness. When your mind is afflicted, okay, you are darkness. You are like a tiger spirit. Isn't it amazing that the most intelligent people, the most privileged people, okay, what do? They learn in order to be more afflicted. You name anyone, I tell you where, what they do. We all are acquiring knowledge, acquiring skills that will make us more easily afflicted. Think about it. When you're afflicted, then you are darkness. You bring darkness wherever you go. You go to work, yes, you solve some engineering issues, yes, but you also bring darkness to your office. You go home, you bring darkness to your children, okay, to your wives, to your poor mothers. Oh, you don't live with your mothers here in the U.S., in the West? Anyway, okay, you are darkness. No? Doesn't it bother you? Does it bother you? When you're afflicted, you are darkness. When your mind is afflicted, you emit darkness. Just like you turn a flip on, a switch, and now you give darkness. You emit darkness everywhere you go, everywhere you are. But you don't want to hear that. You want to know that, do you? Yes, number 5.
Master, is it because we are attached to the knowledge or to the success, to attaining more money, more higher position, because they feel superior because of that knowledge? Is it because of that?
Yes. Let me be more specific. According to the Chinese text here, okay, it says Wu Ming Ho is the translation of fire ignorance. Okay, in Buddhism, there is a distinction for in Mahayana, not in Hinayana. In Mahayana, be careful in English when you talk about Wu Ming and Yu Zhi, okay? Meaning that the difference between Wu Ming is ignorance, Yu Zhi is stupidity. There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference, let me tell you, okay? Stupidity is you. I mean, excuse me, for ordinary people, I sometimes forget, too blunt, okay? Ordinary people, as far as, not me, usually the Buddhist sages classify ordinary people as stupid. Today is my birthday. I'm trying my best, on my best behavior. And since after people saying my happy birthday to me, what do you expect me to do? What can I do now? So for the typical Buddhist sages, they look at ordinary people like us, look at us as stupid. Okay, but for even the sages, okay, they still are subject to ignorance. Okay, and ignorance is like a fire that burns and destroys. Okay, so this refers to, I know the Chinese don't realize it. This actually not for ordinary people. He says, even for people who have wisdom already, the Confucius, the Tao, Lao Tzu, and so forth, those are the sages. For those people, they still have ignorance, okay? And that ignorance to them is as scary as a tiger spirit. They are scared of their own ignorance. If you're not scared, it's because you're ignorant. For you, you're not scared because you're stupid. But for the Bodhisattva, so what's the big deal? I'm better than you. I'm better than most people already. So what's the big deal? Okay, it's because they're ignorant. They don't realize that they are doing stupid things, very dangerous things. Yes, 8.
Thank you, Master. Could you provide maybe just like a little bit of cultural commentary about why a tiger spirit is scary? From my Western perspective, it sounds cool, like tiger spirit, rad, but why would it be scary?
Okay. Remember, we talk about ignorance, which is an abstract thing. It's not like a material thing. It's ignorance. It's a color, has a shape or something. Ignorance is a mental construct. Okay, and the spirit is also a mental construct. It's invisible, if you will. Okay, so here, culturally speaking, and please, Chinese people, Asian people, help me out. Korean people, Chinese people, Vietnamese people, so forth. Please help me out. It says Lao Hu Shen, meaning this tiger spirit here. Spirit here refers to some spiritual being that you cannot see, but the very powerful spirits in a Chinese culture, very powerful. They have spiritual powers. They have a lot of power. They can do a lot of things. Okay. And tigers are known to harm human beings. They're known to kill. They're known to maim. They're known to really inflict a lot of hurt on you before they kill you. They take this big paw and slap you in the face and take off your lower jaw. You're not scared. So in Asia, the Asians are scared of tigers. In Asia, there are more tigers in Asia than lions here in the West. Okay, so culturally, for the Chinese, because this is a Chinese saying, and the tiger is one of the more scary animals in the jungle. Yes, 8.
Thank you, Master. That's very helpful. Just I think the closest thing I could think of here in America would be like a grizzly bear spirit.
Yes, grizzly bear spirit, yes. The black grizzly bear, not the brown one.
Yeah, they're terrifying because they can run 35 miles per hour and weigh 2 tons and will rip your face off for fun.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. You need a bazooka to get them. Okay, so yes, thank you. So culturally, for you in Asia, in the forest in the West, we look at it as a grizzly bear, okay? Black grizzly bear. Brown grizzly bear, too small. Anyway, okay? So that's why the people who have wisdom, okay, meaning the enlightened people, they are afraid of their own ignorance. Okay? They realize their ignorance, the things they don't know, they don't realize they're ignorant about, okay, are scary as the tiger spirit. All right? There's also another thing that also very, very, very important concept along the same vein. 无名火能烧尽功德林. Okay, this is very, very important concept. When you're ignorant, you can, that fire ignorance there, okay? And ignorance is like a fire. It has the power, the capacity to burn up all your merit and virtues. So, for example, you may be have been creating a lot of merit and virtues, okay? But because of your ignorance, that can wipe out all the previous merit and virtue completely. That's how scary it is. So don't say that, I've been doing a lot of merit and virtue here for the Triple Jewel, for Hinayana, for Mahayana, Tibetan, all those things, Theravada and all those things. So, but because you're ignorant, you can commit something and will wipe out. And that's why it means that you regress. You have no more merit and virtue, you fall. It's like you can no longer live in the privileged class. You cannot drive the fancy cars. You cannot pay for the real estate taxes anymore. You cannot afford to go to fancy restaurants, the clubs anymore. So you better move, meaning you regress. And people who cultivate are very scared of that. Okay? Meaning that it's so hard to make progress. You make one wrong move, you fall. And I've seen it. I've seen over the last 16 years, I watch people fall. People with wisdom fall. Unenlightened people, as well enlightened people, they regress. Try to warn them, they wouldn't listen. None of our business. Next. Now we're talking about the wind-ruling spirits. Okay, next element, 192. Moreover, there were countless wind-ruling spirits.
复有无量主风神。
All right. 193. The wind element, okay, has a boss, has ruler. What are the wind elements? The wind elements are the components that make up the wind, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, typhoons, and so forth. Anything that has air movement, okay, is wind. So far, so good. And they're rulers. And this is where we should feel so blessed to have a great teacher like Master YongHua. He knows so much. His knowledge is incredible. It spans so many disciplines, many kinds of ancient Asian wisdom, if you will. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So he says, at the time, they considered maidens, so they're so named Miss So and So. Okay, but now in our era, they are both male and female. Okay, sometimes they're male, sometimes they're female. Okay, less discrimination, if you will. So it says. I'm not sure what this next portion here, sickness radical, is added to the word win, the word for insanity. Okay, and so he says in over there in China, in Asia, they go insane. The young ladies go insane for a while without knowing why. Does it make sense to you, Asian people? Huh? Anyone? I have no idea. This is like girls. I mean, it's a girl business. I know girls are scary sometimes. Some ladies I know, they're very normal, and then there's periods of time where they pick a fight with you. They accuse you of this, accuse you of that. I know such people. Like 6 months. I was harassed for 6 months. To pick a fight, my own disciple pick a fight with me every day. Not one, not just one, quite a few. They're scary. No rhyme or reason. Let's just pick a fight. Yes, 5.
From Chun, is ignorance fire different from normal afflictions in some way? This sounds very scary since we are afflicted all the time.
This affliction fire here refers to the kind of affliction that destroys your merit and virtue. You should be scared of that. This is the lesson you should learn from the fire thing, is that because of your affliction, okay, you do stupid things that will destroy all the merit and virtue, all the work, good work you've been accruing, it's just burned up completely. And you're back to square one. You have to start over again. That's why you should be scared of this ignorance, this thing. Okay? Don't say that, that I don't care, I'm just me. Okay? That's stupidity. Okay? Yeah. Of course you. Well, why do you think we're here? We're here to help you, not be you. Question from JMT.
공덕을 다 날려버린다는 그 무명이 구체적으로 어떤 것인지 알고 싶습니다.
Master, I'd like to know which ignorance actually destroys the merit and virtue.
What it's talking about is because you don't understand. Ignorance is you cannot understand. There's some, like the bodhisattvas. I met some bodhisattvas. I remember this bodhisattva that I know at this level, he has this problem. Okay? Bodhisattva at each level have their own problems. So in particular, this guy here is pretty high. So I met him, I look at him and I talk to him quite often. I realized that his ignorance, he's a disciple of Master YongHua, by the way. So, lay disciple of Master YongHua. And I realized then, because we're the same generation, if you will, okay? And so he says, you and I are the same, You can impress those poor third generation, but not me. Hey, we have the same teacher, I'm pretty good as well. So I'm better than most of his disciples as well. Most of his disciples are scared of me. So anyway, what's interesting to me is that he has this tremendous wisdom. He can do so many things. He can be such a great problem solver. He can recite mantras. He can scare the heck out of the ghosts. He can beat up all the demons and so forth. Okay, But there's one thing that he's completely oblivious to. Okay, this ignorance here that made him create karmas that is extremely dangerous. Actually, he's lucky he did not regress, because I helped him avoid getting in trouble. Okay, so the amazing thing is he doesn't even realize it. He doesn't buy into it. He says, no, this is according to the Dharma. But it's not. They don't get it. They think it's proper, okay? It's consistent, let's say, but that's what Master YongHua teaches. But I said, no, that's not what he means. You don't understand what he teaches. And that's scary. In contrast, I saw all the disciples commit offenses because they ignored about Master YongHua's teaching. And as a result, they've been sinking like hell. No compassion. Compassion is not my strength. 5.
So ignorance will be as well the sign of arrogance.
Yes,
Okay.
arrogance, and it's just that you cannot see. It's very difficult. It's not that easy to resolve. That's why you should be afraid. You should be afraid that we have blind spots who will make us do stupid things, and yet, because of our ignorance, our stupidity, we feel so justified. We justify, like an engineer says, according to my calculation, my measurements, this tower will be fine, until they built up the tower, and then they realize that there's a wind element there, okay, that will make the tower twist and turn and make a lot of noise, and therefore the tower becomes dangerous. Should be condemned. Okay, so there, because of ignorance, because of stupidity, because they cannot see the other dimensions, if you will. Okay? Yes, 5.
From Christopher L. Can Master give some examples of ignorance fire that burns our merit and virtue? Would this include slander or cursing or talking out of anger?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Master YongHua, she had many famous disciples, okay, who are accomplished cultivators, okay, and they Master YongHua recognized them as having some skills and having wisdom, and they disagreed with Master YongHua. They said, "No, I disagree with you." And therefore, he said, "I quit because you're wrong," and that's ignorance. When you're low level, you cannot see what the higher level people see. And that's why, as I said, it's not what it seems. It's not the way it's not what you think. Because your stupidity, your ignorance, you cannot see it. Like, here, you have the examples here. People are stuck on the gods and the spirits and so forth. Look around you; it's everywhere. They say, I worship Vishnu, I worship God, I worship the fire god, I worship the water god and so forth. I worship the Jade Emperor and so forth. And there's no talking them out of it. Okay, they only see a piece of the puzzle. Okay, whereas the people with wisdom see the bigger picture, like here in the Avatamsaka Sutra. You see, Did you know there's something called fire ruling spirit that ruled over? These rulers have work to do throughout the entire universe, looking after fires. You think fire just happens just like that? You think like fires in the forest fires in California just happen just like that? Because they decided there's going to be fire because of our retribution. They're in charge of that. They have to make it happen. You know that? Yes, 8.
Thank you, Master. I'm terrified of what you're describing. I know that I have not progressed very far for the almost 8 years that I've been cultivating. But I've suffered a lot to try and get that small distance, and it would beyond suck if I lost that. So as a layperson, how can I either be aware that I am suffering this fire ignorance, or what can I do to prevent it or contain it?
I just gave you the example right there. The most glaring example is that you disagree with your good no advisor when you are so stupid and so ignorant. Don't ever do that. Okay? Yeah. All right. Yes, 5.
From Cordelia, when we are less afflicted, we are more empty inside, but that only helps ourselves. When we are more empty, do we emit more wisdom light to help others?
Yes. When you are not afflicted, empty inside meaning you're not as afflicted, then your head is clearer, therefore you can help people. When you're afflicted, don't try to help people. Okay? Because you are emitting darkness. You cannot help people. Yes, 5.
From Cordelia, if we are closer to sages, like coming to the temple more, will others' wisdom light help shine on our ignorance and help us see or resolve ignorance?
Absolutely. Look at the Wei Mountain Temple right now. Okay? There's light shining upon me, and therefore shining upon the whole Buddha Hall. That's the advantage. You see? You go to the places, the good places, the light shines so that you can see easier, you can see clearer. Then you go to places that's dark, where people are afflicted, people are after your money. You know, I know it's a minor thing that you don't pay attention to, but at our temple, for example, I don't mean to, well, let me brag a little bit. You go to Master YongHua temple, for example. What I like about his temple is that predominantly, most of those good disciples, those leader disciples, are not greedy for money. Maybe the simple reason because they have enough money. They have plenty of money, so they are not in need for more money. Okay? And their disciples, his disciples, make sure they have plenty of money abundantly until they die. Okay? Maybe that's part of what Master YongHua did for them. But I've been to all the temples where there's a pressure for them. There's financial pressure for them. You know, to meet expenses, to pay for mortgage, for insurance, for all sorts of things, and therefore, you don't feel comfortable. You know, I was there, and many temples I see they're not doing well financially. They're so worried about money. You know, I've been to churches, I've been to temples, I've been to to many places where even like stores, retail stores, I walk in there, oh, they're not doing well. You know, you feel so bad. I walk into these retail stores, especially during a pandemic. They are hurting so much that you feel for them. You know, they're not making the rent and they're desperate. Would you like to hang around those places? I'm not comfortable. You know, I go there and I don't want to come back. I don't want to go back there. Okay, so it's the same thing for me. I go to places like temples and synagogues and, you know, whatever. And if there's this especially, you know, some are close by here, and I see this drive, okay, to make more money, to get more donations out of the disciples. It bothers me. You know, people don't feel comfortable. People like me don't feel comfortable. I don't go there anymore. You know, I have better things to do with my time. Okay? Does it help? No, you guys are becoming very sensitive. I know people are now reporting me and they're scary. You guys are so scary. You say, Master, it seems like you are so-and-so. How did you know? So, because of your cultivation, your levels now, you've been with me for a long time, you've been practicing hard, and therefore, the reason why you're naturally becoming more sensitive, okay? So you are dangerous. You know, if we up to something, you know, then you know. You know? It sucks. We can't be ourselves anymore. We need to pretend that we're pure and magnanimous. All right? All right. So it says some ladies go insane for a while. And have we talked about that? Asian people, help us out. Huh? Do you go insane? This is from Chinese people only. 195. The wind rolling spirits watch over winds. Therefore, they watch over young ladies. Seriously? This is. I don't know. Sometimes you go off on a tangent like this. You know, like he watched over spy number 2. I said, seriously? And is that why she's like that? You know, can be a little bit unruly. Yeah, of course. You know, you talk to her and say, I don't care. It's going to be my way or the highway. And even under supervision, wind-ruling spirits, okay, she's probably a wind-ruling spirit going with her, you know, from Master Hsuanhua's. One of Master Hsuanhua's wind-ruling spirit that follows him can do a lot of damage, uproot trees, knock down houses, and kill people. Winds are very powerful. The one thing that I went to San Francisco, I lived in San Francisco for a couple of weeks, and the wind can make you sick. It's very, very dangerous. I'm learning. Hey guys, when you go to San Francisco, you notice how the San Francisco, they wear vests all the time? Okay, I'm learning, you see? They keep themselves warm. So when you go to our temple in San Francisco, make sure you bring a lot of warm clothing, lots of layers, okay? You're forewarned. Don't get in trouble. The wind is very, very dangerous. Okay, it seems like it's not there, it's invisible, but it can get you into a ton of trouble. Yes, 5.
From T.S. Geppetto, do the fire of ignorance and the fire of wisdom use the same substance for fuel?
No. The fire of ignorance refers to the destructive part of the fire. Fire is very destructive. They don't talk the fire of wisdom, they talk about light of wisdom, because light does not destroy. Okay? 8. Yes, it's more.
From Apple, Go Forest Apple. This is so true. I traveled a lot when I was in China and inevitably visited some temples. I felt scared because all the monks in the temple wanted something from me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the one thing that you will find when you go to Master Hsu's temples. They don't give a darn about you. So it's kind of cool in a way. They don't give a darn about your money, about your cars, or whatever. It's kind of cute. But yeah, for a while. Yes, 8.
Thank you, Master. Just speaking about the weather in San Francisco, something I noticed is that compared to Southern California, executives and leaders in the Bay Area will often wear hoodies in the office under their sport coat. Thin hoodies. It was kind of off-putting to me at first. I was like, what's going on? This is kind of casual, but they're very nice. And of
course, they are designer hoodies. They cost hundreds of dollars, or thousands of dollars.
We can sidebar. I can give you a list, yes. Potentially a birthday present, Master. So
I'm not an executive, yeah. Sorry.
Long story short, when I visited Dharma Treasury, I wore one of these hoodies and in the temple, and especially when I was walking between the temple itself and the greenhouse,
yes.
I would cover my head.
Yes.
And growing up on the East Coast, I was taught to do that when it's very cold. I don't think Californians I know to do that as much, but I did not get sick.
Yeah.
And I knew the difference by wearing a hoodie when I went outside immediately. It really helps a lot. I just wanted to put that out there.
You have to be very careful. It is so dangerous. The wind can get you just like that. Okay, it takes no time at all. Okay? And once it got to you, it keeps on blowing, it will not stop. So it's very difficult to recover. Okay? Executive wearing hoodies in San Francisco? Seriously? This guy for real? It's a look?
Yeah, it's a look. Yeah, wearing a hoodie under a real nice, vegan leather bomber jacket. It's a look.
Nah, that's kind of uncool.
Cool. It's very cool. Yeah, really nice.
I just cannot envision, the executives, the CEO is kind of calling a meeting and then flip the hood over and say, hey, how's everyone today? To me, hoodie is like when you're about to go rob a 7-Eleven. Or am I out of touch? Huh, Mike? Huh? Is that what people do? 5.
From Min, Master, the arrogant thought, is it from a ghost? If not, where does it come from?
It comes from your ego. Okay, that particular guy is from your ego. 196, specifically, they were wind-ruling spirit, unobstructed radiance.
所谓无碍光明主风神。
Okay, the first guy, the first wind-ruling spirit, has unobstructed light that 佛所谓无碍光明处. Okay, so the light here cannot be stopped. It goes through anywhere. Okay. Next, 198. Wind-ruling spirit universally manifesting courageous karma.
普现永业主风神。
Okay, this particular wind-ruling spirit, okay, he or she manifests courageous acts, courageous karmas. He or she does courageous deeds everywhere. Okay, and it can go anywhere. 200. Wind ruling spirit drifting and striking cloud banner.
飘集云床主风神。
Okay, drifting, yes. The power, this wind ruling spirit is very powerful. But it's fierce, like banners of cloud drifting everywhere and striking down anything. So this wind is this from the spirit that produced by the spirit is very, very powerful. Okay, destroy and strike down, topple everything. Wind ruling spirit adornment with pure light.
净光庄严主风神。
So it's not always, they don't always exhibit power or force. They also manifest light that both pure and magnificent to adorn, make places more adorned, okay, with their light. 204, wind ruling spirit power to dry up water.
力能节水主风神。
So this particular spirit here, can give rise, give rise to wind, okay, that will, they're so powerful, dry up all oceans, rivers, lakes, and so forth. How is that? Well, it's incredible power right there. 206, wind ruling spirit loud and pervasive howling.
大声变吼主风神。
So this wind ruling spirit here, he can give rise to winds that is very loud, like a beast, okay, howling like a beast. And I remember this is what happened. I think probably his disciple was at Lu Mountain Temple several years ago, or during the winter Qi, and we were lecturing. We were speaking Dharma several years ago. I was doing the same thing we're doing nowadays. We listen to Master Shenhua's Chan Qi tapes, and we spoke. We make commentaries on that. And during the winter time at Lu Mountain Temple, the windows are poorly sealed, so you can feel the cold air coming in. And so especially when there's a wind, you actually can see a draft coming in through the windows. Okay, and one night, the weather forecast says it's very windy that night. And sure enough, the night it was the wind was blowing non-stop for about 20 minutes. It was so loud. I don't know any of you remember that. Anyone remembers such a thing? No one remembers, see? It's how hard we cultivate at Lu Mountain Temple. I don't know why we bother. Yes, 8.
Was that like the Santa Ana winds that were just howling at Lu Mountain Temple?
Yeah. Santa Ana winds actually blows all the way to Rosemead. Every time that we have a prediction here in Southern California, there's something called Santa Ana wind. When they say the Santa Ana wind blows, actually we feel it in Rosemead. It's very windy in Rosemead. Okay, we blew up things, we make things fly. Like here, we use we don't have garages, so we use these plastic things on the frame for the cars, and it blows those things out. Yes. Okay. Yes. Did you raise your hand, number 5? No. Okay. So anyway, that one night I remember that as the wind was howling, Santa Ana wind, probably. I don't remember whether it's Santa Ana or not, but actually the wind was howling for 20 minutes. And it's so loud that even when we cranked up the volume in Lu Mountain Temple, you cannot even hear the sound. You only hear the wind howling for 20 minutes straight. You remember? Anyone remembers that? And I was complaining. I said, can you crank up the volume a little bit? I cannot hear the tape. But it didn't help. So it was howling like crazy. So you can barely hear the tapes. People could barely hear me. Okay, so after 20 minutes, I say, hey, enough is enough. Don't you see I'm working? And within a minute, it stopped. It went away. So this is to tell you that, you know, these wind ruling spirits, okay, they listen to reason. Yes. 5.
Master, like the first time I wanted to try meditating at home, I said, oh, I'm going to try how that is outside the temple. It was really at the beginning that I was coming here. So I said, I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to cross my legs. I didn't know how to do it properly. I didn't do it properly. But I do remember it was that intent to do that. And so I closed my eyes, and few seconds ago, I started hearing a wind, but it seems like it was destroying a lot of things outside, and it was hitting the wall. And I was like, oh, it's really windy, but it was like so sunny. After, I don't know for how long I stay in deep meditation. I wish I could go back to that level of meditation. But I do remember opening my eyes again, coming back, and I look, and it was shiny. I said, so what was all that noise? So now it made me wonder. I remember Shana, I told her about it, and she's like, oh, maybe there were demons trying to stop you. And I said, oh, I just say I didn't have time to pay attention to the wind. And so she started laughing.
Wow, cool experience. Anyone else? My point here is that it's that experience. I knew about wind spirits, okay? Not about wind ruling spirits. I knew about wind spirits because the winds are arisen by spirits, okay? The spirits are in charge of the wind. So when wind blows, because the spirits decides that wind should blow, okay? So that's why I knew that. That's why I said, you know, I've been patient with you, but, you know, hey, listen, there's a Dharma here, a Dharma event here, okay? You can blow anywhere else. You can make a lot of noise in the next block, but not here, Lu Mountain Temple, okay? So that was the only thing I reproached the wind spirit. I said, hey, you know, we're working here. Can't you see we're trying to do some good here, okay, for this area, meaning your territory. We're bringing goodness to your territory. Why are you working against us, basically? And it stopped. Okay? So they do listen. They do. You know that they are responsible. The spirits are responsible for the wind, especially howling winds. Jewel Conk, go ahead.
네, 안녕하세요. 네, 라이오입니다. 며칠 전에 남편이 회사에 가다가 직장에 가다가 아침에 차 사고가 났어요. 그래서 뭐 많이 다치지는 않았는데 어쨌든 차를 폐차하게 됐고 그래서 지금 좀 많이 우울해하고 있고 다시 이제 운전을 좀 못할 것 같다고 그렇게 이제 하고 지내고 있어서 제가 힘이 되어 주려고 애는 많이 쓰고 있는데 그런데 제가 걱정을 많이 하는 부분은 저희 남편이 나이가 42세 정도 됐는데 그동안 차 사고를 3번 이제 겪었거든요. 너무 긴가요? 여기까지만. 괜찮은가요? 그래서 네, 감사합니다. 그래서 첫 번째는 본인이 실수를 해서 그때도 차를 폐차했다고 했었고, 결혼하기 전에. 그리고 두 번째는 직장에 가다가, 그때도 이제 결혼하고 나서 직장에 가다가 다른 사람의 이제 잘못으로 사고를 당했고, 세 번째 이번에도 다른 사람의 잘못 때문에 본인이 이제 차 사고를 당했다라고 이렇게 이해를 하고 있는데요. 근데 이제 제 생각에는 남편이 운전할 때 굉장히 좀 화를 많이 내고 굉장히 쉽게 좀 어떻게 과속한다고 해야 될까? 아무튼 제가 좀 무섭다고 생각이 되는 경우가 많았습니다. 그래서 제 생각엔 이런 일이 또 일어날 수도 있을 것 같다고 생각을 하는데 혹시 저는 이제 무지해서 지혜가 없어서 도우려고 하면 안 된다고 방금도 말씀을 하셨지만 제가 도울 수 있는 방법이 있는지도 궁금하고, 그리고 제가 승가에 도움을 요청할 수 있는지, 지금 약사위패는 이미 요청을 한 상태인데 혹시 더 할 수 있는 것이 있는지 네, 궁금합니다. 감사합니다.
Hi, Master. This is Lio. I'd like to say something about what happened to my husband. About a few days ago, my husband.
Liar. Oh, yeah, I remember the nickname now.
라이오 그 별명 기억납니다. So my husband, on the way to his work, he got an accident.
Lio, lady in orange. But she's not wearing orange, that's why it's confusing. Never mind, continue, go ahead.
But he didn't really hurt that much, but he had to total the car. And he said he feels like he can't drive anymore. I tried to help him and try to encourage him. I'd like to talk about his driving history. I'm kind of a little bit worried about him. He's 42 years old, and he had 3 accidents so far, car accidents. And first one, it was his fault, and before we got married, and after the accident, he had to total the car. Second accident, it was on the way to work, and someone else hit his car, and he had to total the car. And then third accident, which is this time, on the way to work, and someone hit his car, and he had to total the car. So wow. I'm kind of concerned about my husband, the way he's driving. He gets often get angry, and then I think he's speeding too. And I'm scared, and then I'm scared that it might happen again. And I'm stupid, but I like to help him. So I asked for help from Sangha, and then I already request for medicine Master Buddha plaque. Is there anything that I could help him more?
It's kind of complicated. Okay, for the medicine master Buddha blessings, will help him with those types of accidents, making sure hopefully he won't get hurt, or if he does get hurt, it's not going to be serious. Okay, that's called accidental death blessings, meaning that you will not get serious issues from accidents, from cars, from airplanes, from trains, and so forth. Okay, so those actually seem to work for quite a few people. Okay, that's how I experience. So you helping already in that sense. Okay, and if he gets upset, you've heard of more. He says he gets upset, he gets angry, and he drives. Yes. Okay. The problem is a little bit deeper than that. Okay, that is he may have some anger issues. And it's a lot more involved than to fix that problem. So if you're worried about him, definitely he needs some help because in particular if there are some anger issues, then he really needs help. Okay. I used to drive like that too. I used to be such a nice person, and then occasionally I will go crazy, because someone cuts me off or someone, drives by and get into my lane and so forth. Or the light is too bright behind me, and somehow it just triggered something crazy part in me that I went crazy. Okay? It used to terrify my ex-wife, the poor lady. I mean, you're not you. I mean, and I later realized I was manic. Manic people like myself, when we get into a rage like that, we're going to do stupid things to hurt ourselves. We cannot help ourselves. It's a scary thing. So, and it's difficult to deal with that, because how can you tell your husband that you need some help with the anger issues and so forth? Okay, so it's a problem. Okay, so be careful. Okay, don't try not to get into the same car if you can help it. Just in case, okay? You say, honey, I meet you there. Because I have to leave early. Because you cannot tell him. He doesn't listen. I would not listen. I was, beyond reason. If something ticks me off, and that's it. I go crazy. Sounds familiar? What kind of car does he drive? Is a question. What kind of car that he drives that's total? And buy a lot of insurance with low deductibles. Yeah, what kind of car? They want to know.
모두가 그냥 외건인데 BMW인데 잘 모르겠어요. 잘 모르겠는데 아무튼 두 번째 칸은 폐차하진 않았습니다. 그때는 고쳐서 썼고 세 번째 이번 사고에서 이제 폐차를 한 거고요. 근데 이제 그러면은 제가 할 수 있는 게 그냥 수행을 더 열심히 하는 것밖에 없을까요? 왜냐하면 제가 수행을 하고 좀 많이 나아지니까 아빠도 좀 부드러워진 것 같다라고 저희 아이가 그렇게 얘기하기도 했었는데, 근데 이제 남편은 수행을 하지 않으니까, 그리고 아마 당분간 오랫동안 수행을 할 것 같은 그런 분위기는 아니거든요. 그래서 제가 뭐라도 할 수 있을지 좀 알고 싶습니다. 감사합니다.
I'm not really sure what car he drove. I think it's
They're all the same too.
BMW wagon, maybe. By the way, the second accident, the car was not totaled. Actually, he repaired the car and he drove after that. But third accident, the car was totaled. So,
My God, that's scary. A pretty serious accident. Wow. Were you there with him?
아니요, 늘 출근할 때만 사고가 났습니다.
No, I wasn't with him. It's always when he on the way to his work.
Oh, so he behaves when he's with you.
그렇진 않습니다.
It's a trick question.
It's not like that all the time.
When you're with him, when he's driving for you, make sure he's like yaksa rulai, constantly, okay? Make sure you yourself protect yourself. Would help him.
이미 5대 전부터 차에 탈 때 늘 약사 여대 불과 아미타불을 염하고 있습니다.
For a long time, when I'm riding on a car, I always recite Yashurulai and also Amitofuo.
Very good. More Yashurulai because Emitofuo might precipitate your death. Sorry, I shouldn't be joking. It's scary, trust me. For you men out there who have these road rage things here, it's terrifying to your passengers, especially your wife, your girlfriends, and so forth. Please stop it. You're not yourself. Cut it out. You know, it's insanity. Yes, 8. These poor people, now looking back, I'm so ashamed of myself. My ex-wife was terrorized. She's traumatized. It's scary. You know, like this guy going crazy in his car, and you, right? You're totally dependent on him. Your life is in his hand. If your life is in the hands of a crazy guy, how would you like that? Yes, 8.
Thank you, Master, and thank you to the
Leo.
감사합니다. Leo.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking the question. I think it's very important, and I can share my experience.
Your wife is a crazy driver? Whoa, she doesn't look like it.
When I was younger, I also had a problem with driving German cars very fast. And I totaled 2. One was my fault, 100%. The second one was a war of attrition across a couple different accidents that weren't technically my fault. When you're in a fast German car, I was very low and I wanted to get around traffic, and you can respond very quickly, and before you know it, you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing, much less have control over.
Right, especially Beamers. The handling is so good, and you can weave through the traffic, and that's part of the fun of having a Beamer, you know?
Yeah, the naturally aspirated engine just goes immediately.
Yeah. And it's perfectly, the turbo virtually has no lag at all.
It's fantastic.
Shall we keep on extolling the Beamer engine now? Huh?
You have lots of side-to-side control. You can get in and out of lanes.
It doesn't even roll at all. Those stabilizer bars are fantastic. Yeah.
And
the only problem, though,
yeah,
of Beamer is that when you go to 90, it doesn't feel good.
My problem was going 120 in an Audi.
We're bragging, girls. You realize that? We're bragging.
I found out that Audi Quattro only works when all 4 wheels are touching the ground. It becomes Audi Duo.
The car is supposed to be driven, not flown.
Right.
Have you ever tried hydroplaning when it's wet? It's fun. It's fun.
The Quattro would just plow through it. It was scary because you're not in control, but the car makes you feel like you are. And so long story short, thank you, Master, for that sidebar. The solution I found was a Toyota 4Runner.
4Runner.
A direct change of perspective and performance.
He's trying to tell you, Lyle, that do not let your husband drive a Beamer anymore. Toyotas are boring cars. They have no pickup. The handling sucks. Everything, So you will be a totally different driver.
I immediately had a lower stress level because I could see in front of me over the cars in front of me. They have heated seats, which are very comfortable for you and your passenger in the colder months. And it's more of a journey than a destination car. You get to experience life.
You don't even drive, why do you raise your hands? You just say nonsense? Speak nonsense? Go ahead, one. So you hear that, Lio. See, it's good to share experience because we are very experienced. Go ahead, one.
When someone
I need to cut him off because he's promoting Toyota. And we have no commercial relation with Toyota yet. Yes, one.
Someone that I know, she drives a small car and it has a small engine. It barely speeds up, so I like that a lot. Especially for people that don't know how to drive really well.
No, that's dangerous on the freeway, man. That's dangerous. It has no pickup whatsoever. So it's dangerous when you try to avoid, when a truck drives by in a small car like that, you feel that you're being blown off, like you're being shifted sideways. I've been in those cars and I'm scared. I don't know about you. All it takes is one truck to drive by and it's like the earth moves. Yes, 5. Yeah.
From Cordelia, Master, what caused howling wind? My mom told me that they are from ghosts. Is this true? Can you elaborate on it?
The howling wind is from the wind spirit. When there's wind, there's a wind spirit behind it. The wind cannot arise without a wind spirit. Okay, so there are all kinds of winds, especially howling winds has a certain howling wind spirit behind it. Okay, and the proof is that I related to you the anecdote because I knew there's a wind spirit, so I directly addressed the wind spirit and say, hey, have you have more respect for the Dharma? Are you sure you want to continue this way? And it stopped. Okay, so that's a proof that because I directly addressed that howling wind spirit, I said, hey, will you please cut it out? And it stopped. Yes, 5.
Will that works as well if we say it?
What?
Will that works if we say it as well? We speak to the wind, or
you could try. I tried and it worked. But you could try. If it doesn't work, don't be surprised. He said, who are you? Who do you think you are? God? Okay, next. 208. Wind-ruling spirit, cowl of trailing branches.
树苗垂迹主风神。
So 209, this wind spirit has a cowl, okay? And that's shaped like a canopy of hanging branches. Why? I have no idea. Have to talk to them and find out. 210, wind-ruling spirit, unimpeded travel.
所行无碍主风神。
211, as you can imagine, he can go anywhere. No one can stop this wind. Okay? 212, wind-ruling spirit, manifold palaces.
种种宫殿主风神。
Okay, now this guy here is so rich that he has a lot of palaces. And is that work? I have no idea. I'm baffled by this. I would love to work. Can you imagine I have a lot of palaces as part of my work? Summer palaces, winter palaces, Korean palaces, Vietnamese palaces, European palaces, Italian palaces, French palaces. Better than Versailles. Wouldn't that be cool? And he chose to have adorned palaces as part of his work. And I don't understand why, okay? I don't get it. And the wind-ruling spirit, great light universally shining.
大光普照主风神。
So this guy here, it shines upon all living beings everywhere. Okay, 216. These and others acted as leaders of a countless number of wind-ruling spirits.
如是等而为上首，其数无量。
Okay, again, there are countless leaders, wind-ruling leaders in the universe, okay, who are there listening to the Dharma, okay, they doing important work, ruling the world, but whenever the Buddha speaking the Dharma, they would take time off and go listen. They take vacation time, if you will, okay? It's that important. They realize that this listening to Dharma as important as work. How's that? They were all diligent in eradicating thoughts of conceit.
皆勤散灭我慢之心。
Excellent. Okay. Now, they are their practice for the wind-ruling spirits, since they are in charge of the wind, they're diligently, okay, looking at their thoughts of arrogance. Isn't that interesting? Go ahead, JMT. This is a very interesting clue.
헬로 마스터. 제가 질문을 너무 빨리 했을까봐 좀 걱정은 되는데, 저 같은 경우는 제가 좀 똑똑하다고 잘났다고 생각하는 제가 어리석음이 깊어서 저는 어떤 방법으로 저의 교만함을 없애고 있냐면, 내가 좀 잘났다는 생각이 들 때마다 내가 아직도 어리석구나라고 이렇게 마음을 가지치기를 하는데, 이 방법이 맞는 건지를 질문드립니다. 세라님 괜찮으세요?
Master, maybe I'm asking this question is too soon, too early, but how I catch my ignorance is when I start to think about that I'm pretty good. I'm really doing well.
But honey, you are good.
근데 이미 그렇게 잘하고 있잖아요.
And special.
특별하잖아요. So when I have these thoughts, I just acknowledge it and then and try to stop that. Is that a good way to deal with my ignorance?
How would you handle that? You know, Peter knows how to do that.
Thank you, Master.
I'm good. How do you handle that thought? Hey, how about raise?
Yes. Yes, thank you. I've heard people with more experience than me say, sing your failures and whisper your successes. I think it's perfectly okay to feel like you're doing well, but whisper it to yourself. Don't get a big ego over it.
No, I would not sing my failures. That would be suicidal in today's society. Okay? In today's society, it's very cutthroat. You're at work. If you reveal too many of your weaknesses, they will eat you alive. Okay? And because it makes your bosses look bad. They will dwell on that. Remind your bosses that you caused them embarrassment. You caused them, you're responsible for their major failure. So it's not a good idea. Personally, I feel that for you to sing your failures, that's wrong. Okay, that's suicidal. There's no wisdom in there. It doesn't work in today's societies anymore. There's no virtues in admitting your failures. Okay, the better way professionally is for you to admit you make a mistake and you dwell more on how you fixed it. If you dwell on your negative side, it's a bad mark on you, and people don't understand. Okay, and therefore be careful when we teach you to be honest, for example, to be straightforward. Okay, not in that way. If you would say, I screwed up royally, I forgot to, what's catastrophic? I forgot to stay awake when I was driving the train. Okay, and that's it. Your whole career, it comes to an end. Okay, so it's very important for you to know, to understand the limitations of that. Okay, there are things that when you talk about failures, when we talk about failures in cultivation, it's personal, it's private. You don't want people to know. Okay, except your good no advisor, because most people don't understand it. Okay, they simply criticize you and gossip about you. That's all they're gonna do. So it's not a good thing. Trust me. Okay, so so when do you reveal your weaknesses? You reveal your weaknesses as one thing I mentioned to you is dwell more on how you fix the mistakes, what you learn from that. And that's what everyone wants to know, wants to hear, is what did you learn? Okay, that's important. How you recover, that's important. That's our strength. Our strength is that we recognize our problems and we have the skills to recover a lot quicker. We recognize our problems quicker, and we have the skill to recover a lot quicker than normal people. We're faster, here, brighter, clearer, therefore we're quicker. Okay, that's what you do. Okay, and in some cases, you sometimes you want to bring out your glaring errors, but that's a special case. I'm not going to go into that. Okay, until you are at the higher level of samadhis. All right. So yes, 5.
From Aqua Racer, Master, in the Sixth Patriarch Sutra, it was said that dragons are causing the wind and rain. Is it still true?
Yes, there are many layers. The lowest layers for wind is wind spirit. Okay? But wind spirit is like, this is the analogy. It's just like you have someone in charge of the wind, but also that person works for someone else, who works for someone else, who works for someone else, and so forth, up the ladder, if you will. Okay? And therefore, when you want certain things to happen, you can directly deal with the low-level personnel, or you simply go to the boss and say, "Hey, I need your cooperation. I need you to give me a good day, sunshine, warm, not too windy, and so forth." And then the order would come down to the wind spirit level, if you will. Okay, that's how it works. So, okay, now going back to today's theme here, this wind ruling spirit is very important. It says here that these wind ruling spirits specialize, concentrate on thoughts of conceit. Okay, meaning the better. They feel they're special, okay, and they're better than others. They specialize in, they focus on this particular form of ignorance and form of stupidity, if you will. You feel you better. Okay, and that's what a lot of people have issues with, meaning that because of your arrogance, okay, it will give rise to the wind. Okay, the more fierce the arrogant, the fiercer the wind, to the point where it dries up oceans, will topple mountains. That's how dangerous arrogance is. Okay? And they're all diligent in eradicating thoughts of conceit. Okay? In the Dharma ending age where we are, when the world comes to an end, there will be 3 calamities. And then eventually our world will come to an end. During these 3 calamities, okay, part of our world will be destroyed. The first calamity, okay, is a fire calamity. It will burn everything up to, burn our world, our desire world, up to the first dhyana heaven. It will also burn up the first dhyana heaven. That's called fire calamity, meaning that the heavens where, all the desire heavens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the desire heavens, okay, including the 6th desire heaven is where the demon kings, the demons live, okay. 2nd desire heaven is where the Christian king lives, okay. Those desire heavens will be burned. So the whole desire realm will be burned up to the first dhyana heaven. Okay? And so that's, the fire is so fierce. Because at that time, you have, like in our world, there's something like 10 suns will appear in the sky. It gets so hot, start fire. Right now, fires in California start with just 1 single sun. Imagine you have 10 suns in California. The whole state will burn up, for sure. So think about it. So this fire here, okay, will burn up to the first dhyana of heaven, and that fire is started by anger. Okay? And then so it burned up, and then so people die. A lot of people will die, okay, and no one is spared. But the second dhyana heaven and so forth, they still survive, okay, and then it will recover. People will go back and populate again, okay, and then next comes the next calamity, which is the water calamity. The water calamity will drown our desire realm, okay, repopulate the desire realm, okay, because for some of us in the desire realm, we are not subject to the retribution for anger because we are good people. We don't get angry, do we? Like us, we don't get angry. We just get even. No? Okay. So when this fire disaster happens, somehow we manage to be not there. Maybe we're traveling or something. Okay. And then after the fire disaster is over, then we come back. We repopulate our realm again. Okay. That's how it works. Magically, we just exempt from that, and then we are sent back here, okay, desire realm. And next comes the water disaster, where we get drowned, okay? And the water, yes, 3.
Master, I remember that one of the first heaven, desire heaven, the king, one of the king has the water controlling pearl.
Yeah,
So-
but still it doesn't work. Doesn't work. Because the karma is so heavy, that pearl of his doesn't protect him from. Doesn't protect the first, that his realm from the fire disaster. Nothing will protect it because of the collective karma is so heavy. Okay? Everything has limits. Okay? So next disaster is the water disaster, where the water rises, okay? And it will drown the entire desire realm, okay? The first dhyana heaven and second dhyana heavens. So everything from second dhyana heaven all the way down, everyone drowned. Okay? And that is from greed. Okay? The first is a fire from anger. Number two, the fire of greed is when you're greedy, you plant the seeds for you in the future to be drowned. If you're here, you happen to be here, you'll be drowned. Okay? It's best you go to the Pure Land, just in case. Okay? Not worth it, trust me. If people keep on telling me I want to come back and save living beings, hell no, I'm going to the Pure Land. Too many disasters, too many. I don't know what happened in Korea, but here we have shootings every day now. And stabbing and shooting. It's too much, in everywhere, primarily Texas and Florida. Yeah, it's weird. California have one here and there, but it's like Texas and Florida, they have gunshots, people shooting each other. Anyway, it's their problem. We never have a temple in Texas or Florida. Okay, I declare. Okay, we cannot control the guns there. Forget it. Okay, it's too dangerous for us. It's not worth it. Okay. Anyway, so you have people drowned. Okay, that this flood calamity is from the greed that we are harvesting or harboring in our mind. And finally, and it recovered again. If you don't have, you're not subject to the flood retribution because you're no greed at all. You're not greedy for money. You're not greedy for cars. Some cars, okay, and so forth. So you recover. Okay, you'll be spared from that, and you'll be brought back. Okay, and then the third one will be the wind calamity. It will destroy everything in the desire realm, believe it or not. All the Eiffel Towers, all that's rebuilt, all the structure will be totally destroyed, flattened. So far, so good. And first dhyana heaven also destroyed. Second dhyana heaven also destroyed. Third dhyana heaven also destroyed. That's how scary it is. This wind is so destructive. And the wind arises from stupidity, which is conceit. Okay, when you're conceited, you do a lot of stupid things. Don't do stupid things, please. Okay, especially when you realize that your ego is in the center, at the center of your decision. Okay, I know. Okay, I'm sure. Okay, I know better. you're dead. And so it's so dangerous. That's why these wind ruling spirits, they know that the wind is associated with that force that's able to destroy. It's so destructive to the world. They said, in order to rule over the wind, is in order for me to rein in, teach people to rein in conceit. Because they start first by reining in their thoughts of conceit before they can teach us how to do that. They influence us how to behave accordingly. Yes, 5.
From John, then who is the God in charge of wealth? So the Pisamentian is in charge of the wealth, or is the dragon in charge?
The wealth?
Yeah, money, wealth.
There is a wealth spirit, but it's low level. Pretty low level. Well, it's nothing. It's just things. That's why the externalists and the people who practice, they realize there's some wealth spirit. So they pray to the wealth spirits, make offering to the wealth spirits, and in return they get money, they get cars, they get temples and so forth. But that's like you looking at the small gains instead of the big picture. Okay, you're missing out on the big picture. You go for the small gains. That's what externalists do. JMT.
교만심의 이제 연장선의 질문인데, 그러니까 제가 사실 살아오면서 지금까지 실패를 해본 적이 없어요. 제가 원하는 거는 다 이뤄왔고, 그래서 제가 더 똑똑하다고 착각을 했는데, 마스터 법을 만나고 나서 내가 원하는 걸 다 이루어왔던 것이 똑똑한 것이 아니라 나의 아상과 에고를 키워왔던 어리석음이다라는 것을 느꼈습니다. 일단 여기까지 세라님 부탁드릴게요. 죄송합니다.
I'd like to continue to talk about the conceited mind. I have never failed. When I wanted something, I always able to get it. And I thought I was smart because of that. But I understood that that is my misunderstanding. After I met Master, I understand this is coming from my ego.
저는 이것도 이제 똑똑하다고 생각해서 할 수 있는 질문일 것 같긴 한데, 저희 아상과 에고 잘났다는 교만함을 이렇게 부수는 방법이 꼭 사람들한테 모욕을 당하고 해침을 당하고 그런 방법일밖에 없는 건가? 나의 교만심을 부수는 것이 그것을 일단 질문드리고 싶습니다. 그리고 코멘트가 하나 더 있어요, 세라님.
So maybe I'm asking this question because I think I'm smart, but I have a question. How do I destroy my ego and then conceited mind? Is it by that getting harmed by other people or people look down on me? How can I break my conceited mind?
세라님, 죄송해요.
And she has one more comment.
네, 제 코멘트는 제 경험상 사회생활을 하면서는 절대로 자기의 결점을 노출하면 안 돼요. 그렇다고 해서 내 책임을 다른 사람한테 전가하거나 책임 회피를 하라는 뜻은 아니지만 특히 오너한테는 나의 약점을 노출시키면 안 되고 그냥 제가 지금까지 경험으로는 나의 약점을 노출하는 곳은 선지식이 있는 보호받는 환경에서라고 사회생활하고 계신 제가자분들께 제가 감히 코멘트 드립니다.
This is just my comment. I think that we should not show any fault or weakness especially when you work in society. I would never show to my boss and don't show any weakness. This is my comment to everyone who works. Only time that you will show your weakness is in front of your good knowing advisor.
It's not advisable to do that either, because then you're covering up. You're being defensive. People are not stupid. You could keep covering up your weaknesses, then people know that you are not a trustworthy person. That's even worse. So there's a middle way somewhere, but you have to be careful. Okay? You say, I have no problem, I have no weaknesses, then you deny you have problem, you deny your mistakes, then you're worse off than you think, a lot worse off than you think. People will not trust you at all. Because as a boss, I look at you and see you making mistakes. Of course, you don't know, you're learning, that's why you make mistakes. But what's most scary to me, from a teacher and from a boss perspective, because I wear both hats, okay? That is, if you are not willing to talk about your mistakes as your boss, I would be worried. Okay? That means that you are not learning at all. So there's a compromise, there's a middle way somewhere. You can't say, I have no problem, or you can't say, I can do everything. Yes, 8.
Thank you, Master. A middle way strategy I've seen deployed with some success, both from a leadership perspective and from an employee perspective, is to have some predetermined weaknesses that you can discuss at work. An employee might be someone who, a self-described workaholic as a weakness, something that can be improved upon to the extent that the boss wants them to. Or a leader may have a preconceived weakness of being a little too tough at times, and they're working on that. But these are strategies I've seen employed with some success.
Yes, but also there are cases where actually, especially those of you who are at the front line, like medical people, firefighters, and so forth, you're under a lot of stress. You're under extraordinary circumstances, and therefore you way out of your depth. Okay, you can't handle it, and that's when you have to be truthful, because your company, your bosses, they're aware of that, so they may organize events and help for you, and therefore it's time to be honest. That's when you really be yourself and be honest about it, because it's constructive to look at how human frailty and our inadequacies. That's healthy ways to look at it. Okay, our cultivation is different. Our cultivation is we look at our mistakes and our weaknesses so that we can fix them. But for worldly people, they don't have the technology or the skills to really fix them. So that's why if I in an environment where I feel that either I'm out of my depth and that people there who have more experience than me, then I would talk about it. Okay, people who can help me. You have to trust someone at some point in time. Okay, the therapist can help, the psychologist can help, and so forth. In our environment, the first question is that how do I put an end to the ego? Okay, it's an ongoing process. The most effective way is look around you. In our environment, there are people who are better than you, so they're at higher phases than you, where they have been able to successfully shrink the ego. Okay, that's why they got there. Okay, the more the ego is shrinked, the higher you can rise. And such people, look around you. Okay, sometimes when I first started, people used to criticize me. They said, Master keeps on bragging, I'm this person in that level, the other person in that level. It's for a few reasons that none of you understood. Number one is an encouragement, okay, to tell you that yes, part of you're making progress, and therefore this is now you're able to do that. Okay, now you're at the place where you can handle certain things better than before, and so forth. Okay, and also to encourage others as well, because a lot of conceited people around you say, "She's like that, really? She's a fourth-stage arhat, and she's still, so and so and so," and say, "Yeah, of course." A work in progress, man. We are work in progress. We are all work in progress. We're not God. We're not perfect like some people's gods. Okay? We're imperfect. We're working on it. And that's what makes us special, because we know we are imperfect and we're working hard. Okay? That's part of our fun. But now after all these years, you realize that actually there are a lot of people at the whole spectrum. Look around you is populated by such people. So you see, just watch around you, learn from such people. There's lots of things I don't need to teach anymore. That is, you can learn a lot from your peers. And that's the great advantage of the Great Assembly. Practice. When you come to the temple, you come to our environments, and look around you, you see there are the people that are far better than you, or people that are slightly better than you. And people are, a few steps above you, and so forth. And you can learn from them. Okay? And they got there because, just like you, they're in the Great Assembly, and they learn naturally. Okay? Yes, 3.
Master, for my work situation, I remember when I make a mistake and I was honest about it. I told my boss that I make this mistake. I send the package to a wrong reference, and it upset him for 2 weeks. And it just like everything that I did for that particular mistake, it reminded him of all of the mistakes that I made. And it took at that time I was thinking of quitting already, but then I just keep holding on to that one day, one by one, because Master said, do not give up, you have to try. And then after that 2-week period, I was given the opportunity to try it a little bit better so that I can gain the trust from them. But then just a small mistake that I make, that actually reminding them of all of the mistakes that I have done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the way it is for some people. Use your judgment. Okay? Yeah. It's just common sense. Yeah. All right, time is up. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Wow, there's so many people, even here on Sunday night, and even there over in Asia when it's Monday night. Wow, you guys are diehards. You guys are So special. Thank you. See you later.